In this video, let's go over the 10 use cases where I think AI will have a massive transformational effect on our lives. As you listen to these use cases and the ideas I've put together, I also urge you to think and look at how you interact with the businesses around you, your insurance company, your healthcare provider, and the places of education, the places where you get trained at your even own workplaces. So consider those. My belief is that a lot of those touch points today are many-to-one relationships. They are all one size fit all. And I firmly believe that the real power of AI will unleash when all these one-to-many relationships will become one-to-one interactions. So let's go. And for the sake of simplicity, I've divided these 10 use cases into 3 categories. First use case in the category of transformative use cases is our healthcare and how this will happen in the future. So today when you walk into your doctor, they ask you your symptoms, what's going on, and based on that, they basically apply the generally available knowledge of what should be done in those symptoms or those scenarios, right? If it's flu season and your symptoms match a lot of flu symptoms, you're given the medication or the flu shots accordingly. But in the future, I believe with AI, what's going to happen is as soon as they identify your symptoms, doctors will have access to your genetic makeup also, and what kind of ailments you've had. So all that past and your genetic makeup will be available to make a highly personalized recommendation for what should be done in your case. And the effect is not just about personalizing your medicine. I think the impact would be quicker recovery, better effectiveness of the medication what you're taking, and of course resulting in overall better health of the population. My second use case is again from the healthcare space. Today what happens in the case of mental health is that it's very much driven by the individual. First of all, is everybody around us even aware that they need mental health support? Even if they are aware, it's very dependent on how they're feeling and if they want to really pursue any type of help in regards to those challenges, those anxiety, those issues they are having. But I expect that in future, all the bots and technology as it surrounds us, we will have these personal bots which will basically detect if your voice has signs of stress, if there should be some proactive actions you should take. For example, doing a 5 minutes deep breathing exercise which is recommended to you, or access to a therapist, or getting a massage, or making a recommendation to go out and take a walk, or do some journaling prompts based on how you feel. A lot of what will come into picture will be proactive in nature. Today, the biggest problem in this area is people do not even know that they need help, and actually help is available out there. My third use case is actually close to my heart, and this comes from our industry, and I'm sure a lot of this is applied to several industries. Think of the employee training which is actually mandated for employees to take. I'm sure all of you have experienced that. You push through a compliance training just because everybody must take it. You push through taking curriculum which is probably not even relevant to what you're doing. Or in some cases, even if you are at a much higher scale of expertise, you're still expected to take some trainings just because it's a matter of compliance. I think with AI, all of that is going to go out of the window. It's going to be able to identify where the individual is in their current cycle of expertise, what type of training do they really require, and how to make it very effective based on people who are accountable and responsible for carrying out those jobs versus people who are in a category of, at least they should be, fall in the category of awareness as such. So AI will actually bridge that gap. It'll take away all those boring trainings away. They'll make sure that all the necessary training is recommended to you. Now let's move to the second category, where I feel these are the 3 use cases which will have a pretty strong impact on a general life. So the first use case in this category is the financial advisory and portfolio management type of services. Today, a lot of that is based on wisdom around where somebody should be in their life, what is their risk appetite, and what should be their debt to equity ratio in their investments portfolio. Should they go into stocks? Should they go invest into an index fund? Should they invest into a debt fund? So all of that is fairly static once a basic understanding of the client is made, but it does not account for the changes which are happening, say, on a weekly or a monthly basis in that client's life. With AI, I think this whole thing is going to get a lot more granular. It'll start taking into account of what's really happening with this individual on a monthly or a weekly basis. So for example, if somebody was able to save a few $100s a month on their groceries, the recommendation might pop up where it suggests you to invest that extra saved few $100s into whatever you're investing right now, or invest into another SIP for that matter. Or similarly, if you've been overspending, it might suggest you to do some reallocation of your investment strategy. Second use case in this category is around the smart home automation and optimization. We're already seeing a lot of improvement here. I'm personally at home, we use the Google Nest ecosystem, but at scale you have still not seen that type of adoption. These thermostats are static in nature. You set the temperature and you adjust based on what's happening outside. But these home automation systems are going to get even better overhaul and better upgrades in terms of automation in the future. So we are right now seeing ecosystems evolve where there are products which take care of, say, the thermostat, the doorbell, and then the cameras and all of that. But in the future, I think all of these will start integrating and talking to each other, and we'll see a cross-functional optimized and automation in this area itself. And last use case in the massive impact category is around proactive health monitoring. Today we all have wearables. I mean, I use my Garmin watch. It collects a lot of data, and this is one of my companions on my running journeys. Similarly, Apple Watch has so many advanced features and the data which it collects, but you still are looking at these data points, and the interpretation of all this data is left on to you, or you have to visit a doctor to get the interpretation of all the data you're collecting. But I expect that in future, with AI, it'll become very, very smart in collecting a lot of data points, correlating those data points and communicating what's happening to you. Very similar to what we are seeing in the irregular heartbeat rhythms type of use cases today, right? But the second piece would be where it'll also recommend what actions you must take. For example, it may book an automatic appointment with a doctor for you. Or if you're already on medication, it may suggest you to take a medication. Lastly, I have 3 use cases in the category where I see a step change happening. So number one of that is the tailored fitness planning. Again, we are seeing a lot of apps which have come up which give you, you want to be running a marathon, you could be running a 5K, you want to, do weightlifting and strength training, whatever your goals are, it'll give you a specific plan for you over several weeks, but it is still not fully tailored to who you are. Today's a lot of the companies, they offer plans where you can put in your body vitals and it will take that into account, but I can see that in future these will become more and more sophisticated. Number 2 are the personalized shopping assistants. Over the years, I've seen chatbots, being at one of the first use cases when everybody used to talk about AI. These used to be the first use cases for every B2B implementation that, these chatbots are going to get smarter. Till today, I have not seen, the better implementation of chatbots where they're really becoming an assistant in terms of our shopping. Now with the generative AI, we are already seeing a mushrooming of some wonderful ideas. For example, Amazon has a lot of use cases where on a product detail page you could use AI to search for details, or it'll help you assimilate several reviews, product reviews together, so you know what at a scale people are saying about a certain product, right? So we are seeing some value from there. I see in the future AI and this massive adoption and the wave of AI will lead to some smarter, truly shopping assistants, personalized assistants for us over the e-commerce websites. And third use case in my perspective is the AI-led travel planning or itinerary booking. What happens today is, if I'm going on a trip, I have to spend several hours going on several websites doing price comparisons, taking into account where we are going, which is the nearest location to where we're going to be staying, which are the right type of hotels we want. I can see in future there's tremendous opportunity in integrating this entire travel planning and making it a lot simpler for people, where you basically give your preferences on what type of hotels you like, and it will give you guidance on that. The work what you put in today to find the best deals, best options, AI would be able to collect a lot of that information across websites and present all that information to you. All right, those are the 10 use cases. I hope you found them useful.